this.
All right, you guys ready? Next up, the Please Don't Watch This podcast.
Wait. You keep cutting out.
Oh
God, no! Stop.
The Please Don't Watch This podcast. Is that good? Do we need more?
There we go. Okay. I played a little applause there. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Please Don't Watch This podcast. I'm your host, Chevy and Paula, and this is my co-host, PT Cruiser. PT Cruiser, how are you doing today?
People. Well, mister.
I thought about the last time we did this, and I'm like, we did Jimmy Neutron and Sheen, so now I got to come up with something else. While I was thinking about that, I was walking my dog, and I saw a PT Cruiser parked in someone's driveway. I was like, oh, I'm gonna call PT Cruiser.
PT Cruiser is a pretty cool name, though. You gotta admit.
But it's an awful car. It looks terrible.
Playtest Cruiser. Phillips the Cruiser.
We need some. What can we play today for some music?
Oh, I thought you already had that down. How about some no, we can't get the VOD muted with Donald's or the Mac Sabbath.
I thought
we'll
about that
in a bit. How about Tibetan throat singing?
I do have Andar. Hold on.
Okay, let's not do that.
It's not Tibetan. It's Mongolian. Or
we should still not do throat singing or anything because they still could get VOD muted. How about just
yeah?
I'm looking over what we're talking about.
I feel like we've done Tropical Freeze. We need something else.
And we've kind of done Mario Party, but not really. Skyward Sword, since it might get a remake. I always like Skyloft. I always love that song.
I don't have Skyward Sword, unfortunately. Oh, Minecraft music. Here we go. That'll work, right?
So, before we get into each other's weeks, I kind of want to ask a question. I think it's interesting because our what do you call it? Our anniversary is coming up in a bit, and I'm wondering what special thing we should do for that.
Wait, it's been a year of Speed Sundays?
Yeah.
You've been I didn't even think about keeping count. Dang, look at you. I'm proud of you.
No, I just know that the date that we did it on was January 13th. This Sunday. Good job. Next, you're going to tell me where a pipe goes. But I was wondering if we should poll people about what we should do. Should we do Minecraft? Should we reveal the secret tapes?
The secret tapes of Minecraft? Which we really wish we had secret tapes for.
Do we do Sims? Do we do Fire Strikers again?
God, no, not that. Anything but that.
But if you guys have any ideas, send it my way. I'll make a poll, and whatever happens, happens, Carl.
Oh, okay. I'll let you plan the event then. How about that? I'll just show up to it.
Yeah, I'll even host it. No. Well, I could. But anyway, that's that. Let's welcome to the podcast. We already introduced it. So what have you been doing this week, Carl?
Well, I think everybody has been doing the same thing this week, and that's been having Thanksgiving or last Thursday. And most people I think have been off from school. Most schools I don't think really have school this week anymore. So I think everybody's been fun. That being said, that has placed hardly anything into my life though. As of this week, I have not really been doing too much other than what have I done? Well, obviously, we saw Max Sabbath on Monday, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
Um,
Black Friday. I don't know if you've done that. I
no,
realize both of these topics we have there kind of fit into
what we've done
our
this week.
what we've been done. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So we might want to
aside
integrate
from
that.
a lot of that stuff, I have not really done much else. So I guess the only thing I can talk about that would be the most thing to talk about would be Thanksgiving, which I think we could probably just move on to. So if you have anything other than Thanksgiving or Black Friday to talk about, maybe you should say something.
Did I mention that? I think I mentioned last time that Dragon Quest we beat that,
Yes, you did.
and
I do remember you saying that.
we have 40 hours of post game content.
Oh,
Um,
awful.
we're getting around that. That's what I've been playing this week. Um, what else have I been doing? Nothing much. So I guess yeah. Let's move on to Thanksgiving. What do you do?
I went to my aunt's house, which is about an hour south from where I live. I've always hated Thanksgiving. We always do the same thing. We go to my aunt's house, and it is boring beyond belief. I do not like Thanksgiving whatsoever. We hardly do any activities or exciting things other than just go there and talk. And as I've said in the past, I'm like the worst when it comes to parties. Like if I become super popular and famous, don't ever count on me like just being at a party ever. And if I have to be forced to do a party, I'll try to find like the most secluded area where nobody's at. So that putting that into perspective, Thanksgiving was like I think I sat on the floor for about a good 2 to 3 hours doing just nothing. I practiced some VVV literally to play it during the final showdown.
Right.
Or the New Year's Eve showdown, I mean. And that's about all I really did. I played through it 2 to 3 times, and I got really bored, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to lay here, I guess, or sit down and do nothing. So, and for the most of you that already know, I'm not one to eat many things. So everything on the Thanksgiving table, I hate turkey. I hate mashed potatoes. I hate sweet potatoes. I hate cranberry stuff. I hate stuffing. I hate gravy. I hate most other things. And my aunt, albeit she's one of the very nicest ladies, and I don't have any hatred to her whatsoever, and I always enjoy seeing her. Is like 87, if I remember correctly, and everything at her house is old person house. So it's just boring, more boring and boring. I don't mean to be a downer on the whole thing, but it's like I don't know what else to say other than just to be kind of a downer and say I hate Thanksgiving and I don't like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I destroyed Christopher Columbus' grave the other day. No. On the other, I typically it's kind of interesting. I'm a little more close to my neighbors' cousins than I am with my own cousins. So for Thanksgiving we went to my neighbor's cousin's house, about an hour away too. I have a bit more fun even though there's not much to do. I enjoy most Filipino food. So there's well, egg rolls isn't quite. I don't know where it originates, but yeah,
China, I thought.
It was there though. Oh, we call it lumpia actually. In, as Carl puts it, Tagalog. Tagalog. But I posted that picture in chat of me holding the stick of fire. That was me at the bonfire. They had a bonfire outside, and I just kind of sat around and watched it for a good while.
That's cool.
Had a little conversation. Yeah. But it's not the most it's not my favorite holiday, but whenever I spend it with my friends' cousins, it's pretty fun. And I'll be going back there again for Christmas, if you could believe that. Because I don't know why we I think it's because my family members, my most of my family members have animals, and I'm definitely afraid of dogs and such. So I think that's typically why we don't head over there, even though we're related. But I mean, we still see each other from time to time, our relatives. I enjoyed the food, but I also agree. I'm not the biggest fan of turkey. In fact, my dad's like, "Why do we even bother cooking it? I'm the one who has to eat it." So he always makes ham instead.
Yeah,
like a little honey glazing. I don't know if you like honey glazing.
I'm not really a big fan of ham as well. So
that's fine.
Ham is the kind of thing that like if I have to eat something on the table because I'm starving, I'll eat ham. But I'm not really that thrilled to eat ham.
It tastes good with a sandwich. On my end. Uh, I also like mashed potatoes. I know you didn't add that to your list, but would you add it to your list?
Yeah, it's same thing. It's like if I have to eat something, I'll eat mashed potatoes, but I don't just like to eat straight up mashed potatoes. I don't see the excitement. Even if you put butter or piles of salt on them, it's like, I don't really need it. I don't really want it.
Gilbert, we'll get into that next. But Dolly, what meat do you then, Carl? It's beef, right?
I
Or do
like
you like pork?
fried.
Fried?
Yeah. I like burger.
I like burger.
I'm not, well, because like I'm not the biggest fan of steak, so
No, I just like that could be on your tombstone. I like burger.
and like I like some variants of pork, but I don't like every variant of pork.
On the other hand, yeah,
Like for example, ham. I don't like ham that much.
that's fine.
So
Different strokes. Personally, my favorite food is actually pork cutlet. I always get that when I'm out with the gang, with the boys. Speaking of, so what happened for you on Black Friday? Do you just stay at home?
This year's Black Friday, we did stay at home. We played board games all day. We played
what?
We played some Pandemic, and then we had some pizza, and then we played some Rummy, and we actually played a little bit of Texas Hold'em. We didn't play for money, but they were interested in how to learn how to play, and I was the only one that actually knew how to play the game. So that was basically my whole Friday, believe it or not. And then we played some Counter-Strike later at night. But I have in the past experienced Black Friday. I've never actually done the event as a buyer, but I have done the event as an employee. And,
boy, retail.
Yeah, retail.
Oh,
actually, the two stores I worked at, it was not that bad at all. So
I mean, you worked at like what, music stores or something?
Yeah,
so.
I worked for the past year. I worked at a music store, and then years ago I worked at Party City. And I mean, nobody really comes in for the Black Friday Party City rush.
Yeah, it's not like you work at Walmart, so I don't think it you got too bad.
The music store, there was sales that were going on that day. I was told that we were gonna make like probably 20 to 30,000 in sales that day, and I didn't really see that at all. And actually, to be honest, it kind of sucked because I had a boss that was just kind of breathing down my neck because like his 20 to 30,000 that he made that day last year came projected over, and so like all of our sales goals just kind of tanked because of that.
Gee.
So it sucked. But I've never had interest in really going out to those Black Friday sales. I mean, there's a few, I guess, good sales out there, but like each year it just kind of sounds like E3 each year. It's like, why does anybody do it anymore?
Yeah, going to E3 isn't worth it now that they've opened public too. I don't know if I cut out that.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I think I lowered the what do you call it? The gain, so I'll just be closer. Anyway, I was saying E3. My sister used to go until they opened it to the public, and now they can't.
It's just
it's
just
not fun.
Crazy and insane.
But speaking of crazy and insane, so on the other hand, two things. One, I did more shopping on Saturday than Friday.
That makes sense.
On Friday, all I did was go to okay, but before that, I went to this mall. It was pretty packed. No one remembered how to drive that day. I was with my friends though, and we wandered around. I kept seeing these cool jackets that were like $200 because it's a department store, but I ended up not buying anything at the mall, despite it being really packed and like there are deals, but not too good deals, honestly.
Yeah.
Whenever I go out on Black Friday, I typically go to the less hectic places. This time we just opted for a mall because last time we went to a mall, it wasn't too bad, but this year it was like, and I ate at Soup Plantation for the first time that day. I liked it. I don't know.
What's the place called?
Soup Plantation?
What is that?
It's like a buffet, but for vegetarians, kind of.
Oh.
Most of it is soup, pasta, these nice breads. No beef though, no meats. Which wait, no, they had bacon bits actually. Never mind, there was the meat in retrospect. But I don't know, I actually enjoyed it, and the price wasn't that bad either. It's just $10
Yeah.
for a buffet. But yeah, after that, I went home, and then because they're like, oh yeah, I gotta go. And my sister was like, hey, we're gonna go out. Let's go to Target, I guess. And then I ended up buying this jacket that I don't think was even on sale. Well, most of the food there was vegetarian oriented. The bacon bits were for, fellas like me, I guess. But yeah, on Friday, all I did was buy a jacket, like this long jacket, that was like $15, and I don't even know it was on sale, but that was Black Friday.
So you went to a Black Friday sale, and you don't even know if you got anything on sale.
Yeah, but on Saturday, I woke up at 8, and Johnny was like, "Yo, let's go to the place," and it's this there's on. What do you call it? On Saturdays and Wednesdays and such, there's this collectible show that opens up each week, and they sell like cards. He's big into cards, as well as my other friends. But I ended up buying this hat from Berserk. It's a anime manga type deal. And then afterwards we went to GameStop, and I bought a Mario Christmas sweater, which was also on sale. Dude, I love Christmas sweaters. I don't actually have any, so
I hate Christmas
grab one.
sweaters.
But dude, I look so fresh. I look so fly. I look better than the other guy. Would you hate me if I wore one?
No, I just hate them.
Okay. But it looked nice, though. It had Mario in the middle, and the mushrooms and the pipes and stuff. I don't know. It's nice to have one. I would honestly wear it out of season, too, if I could.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Well, I wear jackets during the summer too, so I mean, I'm always out of season. But yeah, I did more shopping, as you can tell, on Saturday than I did Friday. That was how my Black Friday went.
Yeah.
Did you have any crazy stories?
Just
from other Black Fridays?
Not that I can really think of. Like I said, we never really did the event that much, so the only thing I can think of is we used to get the Christmas tree every Black Friday. Like, that was just the day to do it for us. So I remember there's a section more outside of the suburbs before you kind of start to hit the farmland as opposed to the suburbs of Chicago. And there's this one place I remember. It's they have like a big outlet mall. It's a little bit on the southwest side, probably more the western side. And every year at Black Friday, there is this one exit going to this big long outlet mall that is just a line of cars in the right lane for like 5 to 10 miles.
Yikes.
Like it's gotten so bad. Like, this is on an interstate too. It's gotten so bad that like they're now like bringing out police, and they're bringing out like you have to get into this lane early if you want to be in there, so people don't just kind of last minute try to shove their way in. Every year I would see that. But we didn't go and get the tree this year, so I didn't see that this year.
Yeah, my family stopped getting like real trees to hang out during Christmas.
We got a real tree 2 years ago, and it was a complete nightmare. I've never seen a tree. This is the worst tree that we have ever gotten. So we cut it down. It looked fine and everything, and we put it in the whatever you call it, the holster, and
the little poultry pot.
The tree rejected water. Like, it just wasn't drinking any water. So a week before Christmas, like, ornaments were just falling off and shattering.
Like, would that happen at night too? You just
there got to a point where like we would string the lights on there, and my dad was like, I can't turn this thing on. It's gonna light on fire. So man. Lights finally just stayed off on the tree. That tree was out of the house December 26th. We never get a tree out of the house that quick.
Do you still get real trees?
No, we get one like from Menards. We stopped doing like the actual going out to cut the tree. It's too expensive.
Oh, yeah, I see. That's why I was confused.
It's too expensive nowadays. It used to be a novelty thing, and it used to be like on the cheaper side because you had to do the work. But now they
Yeah.
like kind of realize that we can turn this into a tourist attraction, so pay more.
Yeah, we've gone artificial for a good while now. I'm going back to Dolly's question. Do you agree with people putting out Christmas decorations in November before December?
As long as it's after Thanksgiving, I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, Carl got angry at me or my family because I said it's kind of a tradition to do it early so we don't have to deal with it. And he was like, "But Halloween!" But also, we live in a neighborhood full of old people, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I would just say after Thanksgiving, then you can go for it.
But my mom came home from the Philippines. Oh, I forgot to mention. She spent a good while there. For my, you know, how I told you that she went there to spread my uncle's ashes.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize she went to like Thailand. She went to the Japan. She went everywhere around the Pacific there.
Not even paying attention where your mom goes on vacation.
No, why?
I don't know what are you gonna do if something happens?
No, I even told her happy birthday, but I was like, shoot, she doesn't have a plan to get messages, so I couldn't even ask her how she was doing. Oh, I could maybe Facebook, but I don't know. I didn't think of that. But yeah, we put them as early as September, honestly.
I would say the timeline for September is way too early. That is just disgusting. The timeline I would say is kind of the perfect is after Thanksgiving, like Black Friday and starting, all the way till probably January 2nd. Gives it a little bit of a lag.
I think wait, not September, October. I think I misspoke.
Like
it's
you're taking Christmas down January 2nd, or else you're one of those people.
You know what my mom does? We have the Santa holding up a thing that says Merry Christmas. She gets this piece of paper and then writes Happy Valentine's. And she just puts it on it. Dude, you know what's the scariest thing though? She has these like Santa Claus toilet things, so she puts the thing over the seat and it's like Santa's face. And I'm like, man, I don't want to poop in that.
God.
I don't wanna poop down old Saint Nick.
That sounds awful. We're moving on.
All right. So that was our days or weeks.
Black Friday and Thanksgiving talk.
Which one do you want to move on to? Oh, wait, let's go back a bit. Carl still has to talk about Max Sabbath.
Oh yeah, okay. Evan's got a question first. What's Evan's question? We're in the middle here. When's more Mojif?
It's up to you guys. But unfortunately, coming soon, I don't think we're gonna have any Mojifs because Carl has to hit those.
Yeah, Speed's gonna be busy for December.
For Carl Sember, we could do it afterwards though. Oh wait, no. I think after you do, let me look at the calendar. After you do 24 days, yeah, no, we can't do that.
Yeah,
because
after the 24 days, I'm planning. I'll probably be on break, honestly, until the 31st. There's not gonna.
No, yeah. What I'm saying is on Sunday when we would normally do Mojif is also when Carl would actually just start doing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to stream on that day. If anything, you guys could stream without me.
We could do a Friday stream or something. We'll see.
Yeah, Friday stream might not be a bad idea. Yeah, let's play it by ear for that one. But
yeah. But I'm gonna be working my caboose in more way than one because I gotta do commercials and goodies.
Yeah, I gotta get going on those too.
Yeah, the holiday's over, Carl. Get back on it for the next holiday.
I know.
All right. So Max Sabbath, they're on the screen right now.
They are on the screen. I'll go ahead and which one is
enlarge, enhance.
There we go. I'll enhance it just for a second here. So I got the honor of learning about this band, I should say, called Max Sabbath, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a McDonald's Black Sabbath tribute cover parody band, which is the best way to describe it. They play Black Sabbath songs as they normally would. However, the difference is that they actually come up with their own lyrics based off of fast food-esque stuff. They have referred to themselves as fast food metal, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
I went to go see them out in Indiana, and I was telling a couple friends I was really scared about this and nervous because this was Monday. Monday the week before, or Monday during the week of Thanksgiving, which means that I don't know how many people were actually going to go and see this concert. And like, with like a jazz concert, it's okay if I'm the only one there because there's no audience participation usually in jazz. And that's okay. I like having a nice, quiet, happy time when I go to concerts. I don't like being all jumpy and whatnot. But with like a metal band, like they want crowd participation and jumping and everything. And like, I'm not one of those people. So this was out in a town called Hobart, Indiana, which is south of Gary. Gary being the top left of Indiana.
The snail?
I don't think no, not the snail. So it was about probably 20 minutes from there, 30 minutes maybe at the most. And we got into the town. The concert started at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. This was in the small section of Indiana that was still in the Central Time Zone. We got into Hobart at 6 o'clock, 6:15ish. The whole town was the quietest place I had ever been to. You ever watch one of those horror
Rapture movies?
Yeah, and it's like, where is everybody? There's nobody here. It was kind of like that. I don't like that.
No cars even?
There was a few cars on the street, but I mean, like, you know, you look down all the streets and like the lights are off everywhere, and like the town wasn't even really big enough to have too many stoplights.
And no one was even driving the cars. Like, what was it?
So I'm like, all right, this doesn't bode well, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. So we get to the theater, which was actually a movie theater, which was already a bad sign for sound quality going out the window. And when we got in, there was a few people just kind of hanging around the lobby and whatnot. And then we walked into the theater, and we were number 5. Theater sits about 300 to 500. Number 5. It's 6:30 and concert starts at 7. Granted that there was a opening band, but that's besides the point. You know, again, I don't want to be one of those people. But moving on, because I've been talking about that enough. So people finally did show up. Okay, you know, and they actually showed up thankfully to the opening band, because the opening band was more out there than Max Sabbath. The opening band being called Franks and Deans. Yes, I'm being serious here.
I want to know their backstory.
Franks and Deans is a punk tribute band to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, basically the Rat Pack. So they would play those songs in the style of punk music. They were...
It's pretty good.
Okay. To say, the problem number one, I think really helped or didn't help was that the sound...
movie theater?
Whoever was... Well, you know what was weird was I walked in and they were playing music like most concerts do, and they like ramped up the speakers to 11 for the opening music, and like by the time Franks and Deans actually went on, like I was already starting to go mildly deaf, which is not okay. I don't like that. I don't want to be deaf before the music even starts. So I don't know who did that, especially for 15 people in the audience by 10 minutes till. But it was a very weird show. They were, to put it as best as I could describe it without going any further to what they said, they were literally a bunch of pigs. Their language is all over the place. Basically, a bunch of bros talking as most bros would talk. You know, all those jokes that don't ever make it onto the Carl 101 show.
Yeah, bro.
but they were okay. Some of them they played Police Truck by the Dead Kennedys, which is that opening track into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That was interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Rat Pack music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did they say heck? I'm pretty sure they said a few more things other than heck.
Like darn.
Yeah, like darn.
Hey, ooh, careful.
So that was Frank's and Dean's. There's more to it, but I'd rather actually not talk about that, as it got a little bit more out there than I lead them on to be, but I don't want to go any further than that.
All right, fair enough.
Max Sabbath was the funniest thing I have ever seen. That was a 10 out of 10 on the what am I watching here. So they take down the opening band stuff, and the roadies for the band come out to start setting up for Max Sabbath. These roadies, literally had paper hats and like McDonald's employee outfits on.
Dang,
that was the funniest
committed.
thing. It was such a commitment. Like I was sitting there, like I'm laughing with my brother and my dad. I'm like, Dad, I dare you to ask them if you can get some like more ketchup or salt if they walk by. So there was that. Interestingly enough, they set up this big banner, like out of cloth and whatnot, that said Max Sabbath on it. So, which was cool. I like when bands do that because I like a show. Like if I'm gonna go watch something, like if I'm gonna go out live to a show, I kind of want to watch something while I'm there. I don't want to just like sit there and listen. I guess if that makes the sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So they put that up,
watch...
and all you could see them putting out there at that point was a grill and a bucket which looked like a lard kind of or like a stir or whatever. You know those butter churners, but like it was something for that, which was the microphone stand.
So like the butter thingy, it's like a barrel, right, with a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what they're called.
So, all this stuff is building up. You can see on the speakers, there's Ronald McDonald heads with lasers coming out of them. You could see kind of like parts of the band. Like if you're watching the podcast right now, you can see what the band looks like in the center there. Their costumes were gigantic. I think they put these people at probably 7 foot, maybe taller, just how big they are. And, like everything was building up. And I was just sitting there, I'm like, this is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So, their opening song, which was just a recording, funny enough, was "Send in the Clowns." I'm sitting there listening to this nice, smooth, ballad of "Send in the Clowns," which is great. And then, like, after that gets going, like all the smoke machines are going and everything. It's like, oh, they're getting ready, and then like the air raid sirens finally start going off, and like if any of you have actually seen Black Sabbath, when the air raid sirens go off, you know that they're going to be playing War Pigs. That's like the dead giveaway, and that is my favorite song from Black Sabbath.
What's their rename of it?
So
Sabbath? Mac Pig.
Yeah. So the sirens start going off and everything, and you can hear the drummer. And he's getting ready, and they start going off at their first song. I've forgotten. What's it called again?
War Beefs?
I've forgotten. Like, I just had it in my mind, and I lost it.
Because I asked. I'm sorry.
You did ask. More Ribs. That's what it's called. They pull the curtain down, and you see... You see the you see Mayor McCheese, which is renamed as Slayer McCheese. You see the Cat Burglar, which is basically a representation of Kiss's original drummer, Peter Criss, who they name as Peter Crisscross Fries.
All right.
Grimace, the bassist, is named Grim Alice. And then their singer, which comes out in the most Ozzy Osbourne way, in the straitjacket, as Ronald Osborne.
Right, you showed me a clip of them doing that too, where he's in a straitjacket.
It was fantastic. I mean, like the singer also nailed all of the Ozzy like movements and stuff. He had like he had the voice of Ozzy pretty packed down as well. I mean, he wasn't the greatest singer, but like again, it was a show. It wasn't like just the music, you know, and that's okay. I was all right with that. A couple of things that they were doing, like while they were, you know, jamming up there, like when Ronald essentially was not singing, he had his grill that he would just start lighting on fire. He would start cooking food there, and like the flames were all flying up and everything. There was a couple of moments where he grabbed some mustard and ketchup, and he was like downing that on stage, and then he would just start spraying the audience with it. The audience was going insane for that. It's the stupidest thing, but at the same time, I loved it. It was great.
What'd they end with, or are you getting there?
I'll get to that point. So they played a few songs, and then they kind of went into some dialogue, because why not? And their first set of dialogue was they went into puns of band names. And what I'm talking about is bands like Twisted Sizzler, Chick-fil AC/DC.
Right.
just to name a few. I don't remember the other ones, unfortunately. There was was it Neil Burger King Diamond? I think was one of them. They had so many good ones. It was just ridiculous. They played a few more things. They had a big giant straw out there, for drinking alcohol. Like one of the roads was literally just like dumping alcohol down this giant straw into Ronald's mouth. I was really hoping that there was gonna be like a biting of the bat's head off as just a joke towards it, but like I didn't see, like, number one, I didn't see it other than maybe eating a burger as a substitute for that. But I really wish there was more to it, I guess. When they went into the second bit of dialogue was pretty funny too, because they named the employee of the month, which they got one of their roadies out there. And I won't get into politics too much or anything like that, but somebody in the audience, after they like were cheering this guy on to being the employee of the month, somebody out in the audience was like, 15 an hour, which for people outside of the country, to put it as shortly as possible, we're having an issue with what our minimum wage should be throughout the country or throughout each state. So that was pretty hysterical to hear something like that. And then Ronald's looking and he's like, wait, hold on there. I don't know about this guy. I mean, yeah, maybe he might be employee of the month, but I haven't interviewed him, anything like that. And they're just going on all throughout this, just talking about different things. So why are you the employee? Why should I pay you $15 a month and all that stuff? So, but that's more or less a couple of the other songs they played were Frying Pan, which is a cover of Iron Man. Their last technical song was Pair of Buns, which is a parody of Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Instead of Sweet Leaf, they played Sweet Beef. And the opening to Sweet Leaf is some guy basically coughing on drugs. It's specifically the drug that everybody likes to talk about. So instead of that, they had Ronald comes out there and eats some of the beef, the sweet beef, and he throws up into a bucket, and they just repeat the throwing up sound, and that's them rolling into sweet beef, which I think was so great.
Did they actually play Max Sabbath?
Like, what do you mean?
Did they play the Black Sabbath song, Black Sabbath?
I don't actually think they did. No, they did not. I would have known.
Yeah, definitely.
What else? What other songs did they have? Electric. I know they played Electric Funeral.
What was the equivalent? Oh, you're looking it up.
Organic Funeral. That's what it's called. It's just a play on organic, like, food and stuff, which is great. There's a job being a roadie for Max Sabbath. Hey, they still got paid, all right? their ending song. One of the guys from Franks and Dean's put on the crescent moon face from McDonald's. I forget what it's called. What's the Moon Man called? Mac Tonight. That's what his name is.
The moon guy, right?
Yeah. Here, let me grab a picture. So they put that on, and their ending song.
Mac Tonight.
Their ending song for that was they got a few of the Franks and Dean's guys to come out and sing and The End Is Near. Or I'm sorry, not The End, My Way by Frank Sinatra. Which was actually the actual song of that. So I thought it was just absolutely perfect to see all of that play out together. Like I was nervous about Franks and Dean's not being that great, but I swear Max Sabbath basically saved the day, and it was fantastic. I would recommend that as probably a one-off thing. Like if they're not that expensive and they're in your area, go check them out. They're not bad. Like it's an event. It's a show. Like just do it.
So Dolly asks, by the way, I hope Burger King has a rival metal. What would they be called? I was thinking Kings of the Burger Age.
I know there was a name that they came up with, but I don't remember what it was specifically. Unfortunately,
I was thinking King Crimson, but I was like, wait a second, that's just
Burger King
Burger. Burger
King Crimson. Yeah, there was so good. I'm glad I went. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I'm so glad I actually did. I would put them almost on par with Blue Man Group, honestly.
For being an interesting show to watch, right?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not so much with Franks and Dean's. Like maybe if you can get them by themselves, it might be better. But
or just come in late.
Yeah, or just come in late. But
they sound fun, but I don't really listen to I don't really listen to metal as much, so I don't. I think I'd enjoy the spectacle still from what you're describing.
Yeah,
sounds intense.
Dude, even like you like some Black Sabbath every now and then, right?
Yeah, sure. I blast the 7 minutes of War Pigs from time to time. Sometimes I get Black Sabbath confused with the War Pigs though, because the song themselves. I don't know why.
I mean, it's like AC/DC. Most people just kind of say that all AC/DC songs kind of sound the same.
But I'm just saying between those two, sometimes I just forget which one's which.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Yeah, that was Carl's. Okay, so we're done with this week.
Yeah, I don't think I have much more to say about Max Sabbath at all. So,
which one do you want to hit here? How long have we been going?
We are currently on probably 3.5 hours, give or take.
But I meant podcast wise, probably not too long.
We started about 10:30ish, 10:15ish, somewhere around there.
I'm just gonna say I think we should talk about the 24 days of Carl Sember then.
I hope I still.
The list is up, way up. I can tell you each game if you want, Carl. We can.
Let's see if I still got it somewhere.
I'm just scrolling way up now myself. Yeah, I found it. Here, I'll just repost it if you want. I don't know this is what you left it as, but this is what you sent me last.
Scrolling.
There, I posted it. So, your first game... Oh, well, what do you want to talk about before we talk about the games? Like, anything about Carl Sember? Carl Sember in general.
I'm nervous because I really want to get all of these games beaten by the end on each day. So most of these games look like they can be done fairly quickly, and they're not that taxing on a person. So Full Throttle is the only one I think of the list that I've really actually technically beaten, but it's the remaster edition of it, so I'm not too scared about that. But the rest of the games I have hardly played, so I'm concerned, but I think we'll get them done. little patience and we'll get me through anything, as I like to say.
A little less conversation, a little more action. So, first off, as you were talking about Full Throttle, anything... I don't know how I'm going to do this because I don't know some of these games either. So, Full Throttle, I'm assuming it's a racing game, right?
Incorrect.
Darn.
Full Throttle is actually a LucasArts point-and-click game.
Point and click. I've seen this, actually. It's the one with the biker dude. That's why I thought it was
Yes, it is.
So I think the only thing that will stunt you, because you actually put a lot of point and clicks down on here, is that there's definitely times where you'll just get flat out stuck. What's your solution for that? Like Puzzle Agent, you might get really stuck on a puzzle. Some of them are really difficult.
I'm not opposed to looking up a guide to how to do it. It's one of those things where I like to give it a good attempt first.
Okay.
Depending on sometimes the game, I might just play it with a guide. Usually when I'm 100%ing something, I'll just go straight into it with a guide and not care.
Like with what you're doing with Wind Waker right now.
Yeah, for games like this, since I am just going for the goal of beating it, I don't mind giving it a try first and seeing how far I can get. And then if I get stuck, then I'll pull out the guide just for the sake of getting through it. None of these games I have any expectations on completing at the moment. So it's kind of whatever happens. Some games that are kind of automatics, technically to be beat or completed, might be games like Full Throttle, I think is one of them. Can't really beat compared to complete a point and click a lot of the times. I mean, I guess there's a couple extra items you could possibly get, but I don't know. It's hard to grasp or to kind of gauge those.
I mean, if they have achievements, I guess you could do it like that. Like if you get the platinum trophy, I think that's typically the way you complete a visual novel or like a point and click.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that too. But sometimes those achievements are it's a matter of how dumb they can be kind of sometimes, because like if you get achievements where it's like you have to play 3 different paths of a point and click just to get this stupid achievement, and it's like, I don't want to do that 3 times again. I mean, I guess you could technically like save another file somewhere, but it's dumb. Like, dumb achievements are dumb.
I gotta say though, the Stanley Parable one where you gotta wait 5 years.
Yeah.
If you don't change the time, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that would be another one where it's just like, this is dumb. I don't get it.
But it's funny dumb. So I'm looking at the list. So for the Speedy Sundays that I have with Carl, we got Loom, which is another point and click.
I'm actually really excited to play Loom. I don't know why, but it looks fun. It looks like something we're gonna have fun with.
I'm interested to watch it because I've never. I don't know. Point and clicks are pretty fun to watch from time to time.
Well, I think point and clicks are like a lot better in co-op playing, because like there's not much. It's not one of those things where it's like in Mario where you can just kind of backseat game me. You have a lot of saying on what happens.
I think what interests me honestly is like, I don't know. I think old point and clicks are really fun. They really kind of just do whatever they want for the most part. And Loom, looking at the imagery, is like pretty weird looking. I think I'll enjoy that.
It's really old school. I mean, Loom came out almost the same time as the first Monkey Island, so I don't know, it was it's dated for sure.
That doesn't stop us from just randomly playing it. Sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Oh, we also got Nights into Dreams, which I think is gonna be pretty interesting to watch. I've always heard of the game. I've seen it in Sonic Pinball and even Sonic Pinball Party and Sonic Adventure 2. It shows up as a level in the casino world, but I've never played it. And it kind of looks unfun to play, but it also looks kind of interesting.
I'm not sure about Nights into Dreams. I'm gonna leave that as it's an experience. I don't think there's much else we need to talk about it at this point, because I think the experience is gonna speak more so for it. If it wasn't popular, I don't think Sega would talk about it so much and port it into other games like that. So I have to imagine that, although it looks kind of weird, I think we'll make some fun out of it.
Yeah. I also love the soundtrack from what I've heard in the like the other games, like the that one's really good. Like Sega always gets the good guys on, except Sonic 7 Ball Options, all that stuff. Oh, and Sonic Chronicles. They didn't have the good composer for that. Have you ever played that?
No, I've not.
Oh boy, yeah, that game is a music disaster. They butchered so many songs, and I don't know why.
Which one is Sonic Chronicles? That's
It's the RPG on the DS.
That game was supposed to be awful, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know at the time. I didn't buy it then.
I didn't know at the time.
Like, I was like, ooh, an RPG of Sonic? How can this go poorly?
Well, I think there's a good one, isn't there?
Of an RPG Sonic?
Well, wait, hold up. This game was developed by BioWare and they messed it up? How does that happen? What?
Can you hold on, Carl? I want you to play one song from the soundtrack for those who've never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Let me just find it real quick, and I want you to listen to it too. Sonic Chronicles OST. Here. Okay. This is the song.
All right. Let me pause the music here.
I don't know if you can tell, Carl. It's missing a few instruments.
It does kind of sound like that, doesn't it?
Now, Carl,
I don't know. It's
this
kind
is
of
what it's from. Compare the two.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh my God, you're right. I was really trying to give it the benefit of a doubt. Can I listen to that one more time?
Go ahead.
Oh, you are so right. Wow. Oh, my mind is blown, actually.
So, oh man, Carl, you just gotta. You know what? I'm adding Carl finding and playing Sonic Chronicles for the Speedy anniversary.
No.
I want to see it because I've never beaten that game. I got kind of far, I think. I got that character on the cover. I think.
No, you don't want that. No.
Hey, people wanted Mother for some reason.
That's because there's still a little bit
And
of
you
fun.
did it.
It's $15 on Amazon.
If we can't do
that's the cartridge. It's gonna be like $25.
If we can't do LSD Dream emulator, we gotta find something else.
Oh no! Oh no!
But this was a good revelation, wasn't it?
No,
There's more
God.
songs like that too. I'll find them and post them later if I can remember them. But man, that soundtrack is awful, and that's not even what we're supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be talking about
Nights into Dreams.
I was gonna say Chip and Dale. Yeah, Nights in the Dreams. I don't even know how we got into this conversation. Well, I got into it. Anyway, that was that. Chip and Dale is gonna be kind of interesting.
Have you seen or played any of that game before?
Yeah, you throw boxes at people.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I was like, do I say more than that? No, that's. It looks fun.
I always like these games because it's a bit of a revolution in a sense. It is simultaneous co-op gameplay for NES, which is astonishing. It's on par with such greats such as A Nightmare on Elm Street for NES as well. That's Friday the 13th.
Sorry,
you tried.
But this also revolutionized the fact that most Goof Troop, it inspired Disney characters throwing boxes at people.
Yeah, I suppose you're not wrong.
Yeah, but I think that'll be a fun day. Hopefully we'll get it running. We haven't tested that yet, so we'll have to test it eventually.
Kind of curious to see who actually makes Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale, they do.
It'd be interesting if it was like Capcom. The composer for Chip and Dale is David Weiss.
Oh no!
Oh no!
He
I'm
worked
sorry.
on Sonic Chronicle. No, I still don't know how that happened because I'm pretty sure the sounds are actually supposed to sound.
Well, that's
And
weird.
while you're looking that up, I'm gonna look up the other awful song because there's one where there's just missing instruments altogether. Boy, my ears are gonna hurt while we're talking.
Well, now I'm not even sure because it has somebody else. Like there was one. Google says it's David Weiss, and then another person says it's somebody else. Funny enough, though, Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger for NES is made by Capcom.
Yeah.
So you were correct when throwing things. And then our last Speed Sunday game that we'll be playing the 23rd of December will be, of course, the absolutely legendary PlayStation 1 game, SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge.
Which I think will be pretty fun, especially for Woot. I know Woot's a big SpongeBob fan. I think
SpongeBob.
we'll be getting a lot of references in. I think.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be the well, maybe we'll have SpongeBob trivia that day.
What happened during the live airing of SpongeBob Shanghai? Yeah, I'm thinking what other kind of reference make that? They'll just.
Oh God, what's happening? You're breaking up again.
Oh, hello. You know why? Because I found the song. Another backtrack. Carl, I want you to guess what song this is supposed to be.
Oh God, this again. All right, here we go.